Ow. Oh, hey, where's my... Oh. The pool noodle fell. That's not good. I need my keyboard tray bumper for my knee. Okay. Pool noodle works because then I can take it off when we're not painting, and then we can use the keyboard as normal. Alright, you guys. We've got 2 things we need to do today. It's Saturday. It's painting day. Welcome, welcome. We are going to get to the flamingos, but first I need to get this dowel painted. Need to find a brush here. I guess this one will do. Alright. I need to get this painted because I think I need this weekend. And this is probably my best opportunity. Let's go with earth brown. Alright. So hope everybody's having a good weekend. It's starting to get a little warm again here. It wasn't too bad yesterday. Come on. No. Don't be stringy. I just... Come on. Nah, old paint. And there's still usable paint in there, but it's old paint. Alright. So we'll see about getting this covered. This brush is going to be streaky, huh? Well, maybe 2 coats will take care of that. So this is for the needle felting project that we are working on. This is what we're going to attach at the top of it to hang it from. And we'll see how all that goes. Sorry, I suddenly was like, oh shit. Tell me I didn't unmute desktop. I didn't. We're good. Alright. We will get to the flamingos, I promise. We did not false advertise. But I really need to get to this first. So this was an unfinished dowel. It's a split dowel. I think it's 3/4 inch. If memory serves, which it doesn't always, but I think that's what it is. Flat-sided, so split. And I'm just trying to save me some time later tonight. My allergies are just going crazy today. My eye is itching, and it's watery at the same time and dry. And I'm like, how do you feel all 3 things at once? Like, what is going on here? And the Benadryl doesn't seem to be doing anything. at the very least, it's taking its sweet ass time to think about doing anything. I should have grabbed my triangles for this. Is what I should have done. But I was like, well, we don't have that much room up here at the moment. So what if we just use the other paint palette that I grabbed, aka old food container lid that we had extras of. I think those containers got lost to life with cracking, or just got weird and threw them out, or we used them for something that we didn't need to keep the lid for, and no sense in letting no sense in letting the lid go to waste, right? Might as well. You okay?
What?
You okay?
Yeah, why?
What was that?
What was what?
That thud.
I'll go look.
How did he not hear that? It sounded like a truck smashed into something.
Delivery guy for your markers.
Oh, it sounded like a dump truck smashed into something. Jesus Christ. I was really hoping those paintbrushes were going to show up today so we could use them tonight. But the markers work too. We're not going to swatch them yet. I hope that wasn't him throwing them on the porch. I mean, they're paint pens. For fuck's sake. They're not indestructible. I was half expecting the post office to deliver them. Like, that was a heavy thud. Like, I felt that in the floor. Oh. See, this paint, you can sometimes pull it off if it's just at the right level of drying time, which can get a little frustrating. Let's see, that second coat definitely helps a bit there. I did have to gesso these though, because these were thirsty guys, and we'd be here with like an entire bottle of paint and still not be getting anywhere. I just need you to be a little bit drier so we can move on. So I have somewhere else to grip you. So that's my problem at the moment. We're gonna get paint on us at some point. I usually have all kinds of crap all over me. Paint, ink. You name it. We usually have something on us. Alright. So, let's get this in here. This is like my fucked up brush. I liked this brush, but I was pouncing mountains in on one particular painting. I was trying to like tap them in because they were jagged and stuff and fuzzy from trees and shrubs and shit all over them. So by the time I got done the mountain section on it, this brush was pretty much fucked. So it was not an expensive brush, so I'm not entirely surprised. Really not surprised. Ow. Elbow and desk. You don't have to keep meeting like this. It's cool and all, but the hand isn't so thrilled about that every single time. Okay. That spot's gonna be a bit fussy. So let's get this base coat into here. Oh, the husband's arrived. No, I thought there was a car accident. How loud that was. Like, good grief, Charlie Brown. Alright, just gonna sit that there for 1 second. Try to rub off extra paint that I've got all over my fingers now. Alright, so little section in here. I was getting a little fussy about keeping its paint color. Alright, I promise we will be getting to the flamingo shortly. Like I said, I've got to get this done now because every night I was telling myself I needed to do it. By the time I sat down, I just either A, didn't have the energy or forgot. Did get a bit of editing done last night. We're now on to the 7th of 12 live stream sessions on the speed paint from episode 11. Husband's almost done episode 10, I believe. I'm not sure how many live streams 10 was now. Was it 13? 12? I didn't think it was that many. Cats have been up here. Alright, so I'm getting that. No, don't get streaky. I need you to cover. Alright, so now we need to get the back side. As I just realized this side, this side doesn't, it matters, I guess, because not all of it's gonna be covered up by the needle felt. It will be sticking up a little bit, but I don't know how much is going to be sticking up. So therefore, we should at least try to get that second coat somewhat even on the back. Okay. Just a little piece right there. Okay. You did not get a second pass. What about you? You did get a second pass. Okay. So it's not bad. It's pretty well covered now, except for there's a little section in here. I'm just being impatient, trying to get this covered. So that we can move on here. Probably gonna have to redo the back of that by the time we are done today. Okay. So, last week, when we last left off, we were kind of working on our second. Hey now. My pool noodle fell off. That wasn't nice. Pool noodle, why are you gonna do me like that? That was very rude, Mr. Pool Noodle. Now I have to bend down. And try to get you out of there. I'll stop that. Oh, now my chair is eating my throw rug. Stop that. Everybody's misbehaving today. Okay. Anyhow, when we last left off, we were working on our leaves. I'm going to leave the background the dark green color. What color was this, actually? I don't know. I don't remember. That might be leaf green. Let's hope so. this dried chunk of paint out of there. Just in case it explodes with an air bubble. You know what? Let's take a little bit of... Let's get a little bit of green pop. Not sure if we've used green pop yet. I don't think so. Alright. Get a brush friend here. Who wants to be our friend today? You. Or at least our friend of the moment. Okay. Hi, Momo. Momo.
Momo, go lay down.
It's not
Slow down
time
a few
yet.
more minutes. Go.
You have to wait at least 10 more minutes. It's not time yet. I took him out literally like a half hour ago. Not quite. Okay. We are gonna flip this guy. So sorry if that messes with some of your perspective, but I find it's better a lot of the times to just turn your piece than be in the habit of putting your arm laying on everything, because then you forget that sometimes there's wet paint there, and then you end up with an arm of wet paint and sections of your piece where your arm has decided it is going to just remove all that color for you. So it's not exactly a grand thing. Alright. So this guy never really got his second. If he did get a second coat, then this is coat number 3. Sometimes this paint can need that extra bit of attention. I'm gonna grab some of our green pop color. And just gonna grab some of that mixed into our leaf green here. Spring green, leaf green. I think it's leaf green. And it doesn't need to be like super realistic to an actual plant. Thank you, Loud Traffic. Welcome to Saturday. was hoping for not quite so ragged of an edge there. Now we still have to do this other leaf back here. Probably should have did that one first. But alas, I did not. Okay. So this is going to take just a little bit of back and forth here. To get the shading to where I want it. And that's okay. Just kind of have to keep at it. Which might entail some back and forth with these two shades. Well, we haven't done our flower yet, so that's okay if we go up into the flowers area just a little bit. I don't want to try not to do that too much though, and that does mean we'll have more of a issue later when we go back to deal with the flower. And if it looks like it's getting a little too blended, just go back and grab some more of your paint. If you need to, or you can always rinse your brush in between. Don't necessarily have to do that. That is going to be up to you. And I am taking off some of this green pop color that we pick up. Just a little bit. So I'd rather start in with a little less than I wanted than end up with a little more than I wanted, you know? And if you want your lighter color to be a little bit more prominent, always come back in as the other color, or the color blended mixture, is drying. And see what you can do there. Okay, that's not so bad there. Alright. So there's just a couple of areas here. Yes, I know we're upside down at the moment. It's easier for me to reach. Maybe a little bit more of our base color on this guy. Alright, that's okay, I guess. I might change my mind when I flip it back around. That is always a possibility. But don't be afraid to turn it upside down. If A, you're having trouble reaching, or B, sometimes that different bit of perspective change is helpful. Okay, let's see, how are we? Oh, hey, yarn fluff. How about that? Didn't know that had escaped. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good there. Okay. And let's work on getting this guy filled in. Now I don't run stream avatars on art days, so bear with me if I'm a little slow to answer your chat messages. I use stream avatars to make a noise when somebody says something. So that way I don't miss their messages, usually. Providing I have the volume turned up enough to hear stream avatars. Hi Momo. Alright, I'm coming. He's been having a rough 24 hours. He was mad because he wanted to lay outside and eat grass when I took him out before we got started.
Okay, come on.
And I was like, buddy, I don't have time. That was a loud truck. I think that was a semi that just went by. He was mad because he wanted grass time. And I didn't really have the time for him to do grass time. So I was already running a bit behind getting set up. Suzu, did you need to go out too? Zuzu, did you need to go potty? Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, I'll be right back. I need to go deliver the dog to Russell. Give me one moment. Okay. Alright, I'm coming. We're back. Not sure if we're out of the ad yet, but we're back. Sorry about the interruption there. Okay. So I'm just kind of dabbing a little bit of this lighter green off. And some of that dark green too. Because I don't want to go in with a whole bunch right off the bat. Like, I don't want to dive into the deep end of the bowl too soon. Kind of deal. But of course, in just the few moments that I had to step away, it started to dry a little bit more than I wanted it to. So I'm gonna have to work our color blend back up. Alright. Forgot how much I loved the song Pompeii. Totally off topic and random, but okay. gonna slowly streak in our lighter green here. And sometimes you just gotta play with it back and forth to find that happy middle ground. And sometimes it does take a little bit of work. Just a little bit. All right. Now, if your style is more dive in to the deep end of the pool right away, then go for it. By all means. So I want to slowly build up my blend here. If we can. Alright. So I don't mind using these these food container lids as paint palettes. There we go. Because then if they get too gross or just too caked up, I don't feel so bad about having to let them go. But we can get some uses out of these. And they've been doing fairly well for us so far. And it never hurts to have a couple extra palettes. And these stack pretty well when you nest them inside of each other. They don't tend to take up too much room. Trust me, space is at a premium here. This one. Kind of looks like it could use a little bit more. Okay, that's not too bad there. And I'm gonna clean our brush here. Hey, Tommy. How are you? Sorry, I'm a little slow to see the messages when we're painting. And I don't have stream avatars going, so didn't realize that anyone had popped into chat. I'm alright. How are you? Again, apologies for the slow response. That's actually why I have stream avatars make the flamingo noise when I have it up and running. Because sometimes chat will be quiet for so long that I stop checking it regularly. My own fault, but that's good. Glad to hear that. Glad you're doing okay. Yeah, we don't need much of that color. Well, actually, before we go any further, while that dries a little bit, let's check on our dowel rod here. Alright. We've got a couple spots here. Just want to get this before this brown completely dries on our tray. So this dowel rod is what we're doing, what we're using for our hanger on our needle felting project. But I needed to get it painted because I believe I'm going to need it at some point this weekend. I don't think we'll be done tomorrow, but maybe Monday on that current one. Maybe. So what are you up to today? We are here working on these two things at the same time here. Alright, that's probably not so bad. There is a light spot here. Do you want to hit that up real quick? Okay. That'll probably be good enough for that. I don't mind it being a little patchy because we're trying to do a little bit of a rustic feel with that. Sent you pictures on Instagram, like I said I would. They're pictures of your artwork and your new easel and your ukulele and your free t-shirt. It's alright if you can't check it right now. Okay. I mean, we can. Let me see if I can find it. Bring up my... if I find my mouse. Let's see here. Okay. You sent it. Okay. Instagram doesn't always tell me when I have a message request. Oh, nice. Sorry, I'm looking. Not bad. Some of the artwork pictures aren't updated. That's okay. Still not bad, not bad. pretty good. Better than I can do on some of those things, like some things I'm just not good at. People forget it. People I can't do. It comes out looking terrible. And I've never really tried to paint boats. Whoop. Husband's back. Doggos have decided they had enough, or Zuzu decided he had enough, and Momo just had to come in because...
No, Momo decided.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a switch.
Here you go, my good boys.
Usually we have to drag him in, kicking and screaming like a toddler, leaving the playground all too soon. We picked up a, you did all freehand? Nice. Yeah, some stuff I need to, the one commission I did, a mutual friend of a friend, asked me to paint their father's mule team, and I was like, do you have a photo? I can try. And, I was not prepared for the amount of harness straps on these mules. I was like, oh, okay. So I took the photo and popped it into Creta, and I think we had our art pad at that point. Yeah, I used our art pad, my husband's digital art pad, with Creta and went in with different color lines and did a line art version of it, and then printed that and then transferred that onto a canvas, which was actually the hardest part of that, which seems strange, but I was like, yeah, we need some guidelines here. we're gonna botch this if I try to freehand a mule. That's not my strong point. I haven't had to do a photo line art transfer in a while, though. I think I still have the finished photo on that. Some of it used a reference, some of it I used cutouts from, yeah, I mean, you know, you do what you've got to do. I just outright line traced the photo, plus I had to scale it to fit the canvas I had. Let me see if I can find it real super quick. Let me see here. This might take me a quick minute. It's when I was on the other computer. Let's see if I still have the image. Oh, that's... Oh no, that is the image. Okay. I'm like, that's the reference photo. No, it's not. So that was the finished painting on that based off the photo they had given me. See, I don't know if I still have the reference photo. I might not still have the reference photo. Not that it oh, wait, no. That's the same finished one, just cut down. I thought that was the reference photo. Maybe I don't have the reference photo anymore. I changed all my files around when I went to the new computer. Yeah, no, I don't know where the reference is. I think that was an 11 by 14. That was a tough one. I will say that. Alright, so we used this, what is this? Olive green. What do we want to mix into this? We need something. We need something. How did that just vibrate? That was strange. Maybe we'll do the yellow with this one. So that was a mixture of the Arteza acrylic paint and this same Anita paint, one of those colors in the background of that one photo is actually one of the ones I'm using right now. Same shade. Alright, I think we're gonna flip this guy upside down again. So, I mean, drawing horses is not my strong point. It's one thing oh, that's not the same color. What color is this? Oh, shit. Hold on. That is not the same color. Oh, you know what? This is foliage green. I thought that didn't look right. Do we have the other? Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. They both feel about the same fullness. Oh, you know what? Oh no, this one's the older one. Living dangerously here. Putting that on. You'll be right back. You have to grab something to drink and plug your tablet in for a bit. No problem. No worries. We'll still be here for a while yet. Alright, so I want to be careful. I think this is the same color now. It looks about right. So you want to be careful coming in on the edge of our other leaf guy here. Don't want to get too carried away. Help if we're in frame. Do I need to zoom in, or you think we're good?
It's kind of focused mostly on your color palette, but you can see what you're working on. So.
Well, it's because I flipped it upside down.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we might be able to zoom in a little bit more.
I don't think it's necessary, but hey, you do you.
I don't think we need to go too far in. Let's try that. And are we focused or are we fuzzy? I think we're
about
focused.
normal.
Do I need to change it?
I don't think there's much you can do to change it.
That doesn't look too bad there. It's so strange seeing the camera on the software for it be right side up, because I have to flip it in OBS, because when I have it on OBS it's upside down. So when it's right side up in OBS, it's usually upside down in the Elgato software. The things we try to do to make shit work. Technically, I think the camera is in fact upside down. Just with how we had to do it. With how we had to rig the camera. We originally got the arm for the camera. And I briefly, I don't know if I ever had it attached to the desk. I had it attached somewhere. And when we were needle felting, the whole thing was shaking. And I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna work. The other camera somehow wasn't too shaky. It would have its moments if I didn't have it balanced just right. And I had like tissues folded over on top of themselves for some padding as sort of like a shock absorber from like kind of in the slot where you can rest it on stuff. And that worked for the most part, providing I hadn't slightly shifted the camera. There was one exact spot where if I had it sitting there, we were golden. But if it had gotten bumped like 1/8 of an inch one way or the other, then it would start shaking when we were stabbing the fluff. So I had a mini shelf that we had made for something else. Like literally just a chunk of wood that we L-bracketed to the window frame when I had my desk on the other side of the room, and we weren't really using that shelf for anything important. So we ripped it off the wall and reattached it to the other side of the room when we moved our desks around. And that seems to keep the camera from shaking a bit. Now if the desk shifts, that's because I'm in a tight space over here. And I'm right on the door that opens that goes outside. So that's usually either me pushing the desk to get up, because I can't get enough traction on this rug to get pushed away from the desk, or somebody coming in and out. Okay, I'm just trying to get our second somewhat decent pass on this done. I don't want it to be too splotchy. Before we come back in. That one did kind of encroach on our flower a bit. It's okay though. We can make do. So excited to go away the end of September. It is quickly approaching. I need to sit down and fill out my notes for our travel. Like, I have to have contingency plans, right? The husband and I try to plan for things, like, so we have a drive goal for each day. So I pick a city that's about X number of hours out, like towards the end of our drive goal for the day, and then it's like, okay, do they have our hotel preference? If not, I try to look for either the next closest or maybe 5 minutes more down the road just to see. And then if they do have our hotel preference, it's like, okay, now, what do they have for our food options? Because we're picky about where we eat a lot of the time. And then if the food options look good and the hotel is where we want to be, then we will go ahead and I will write the address down in my little travel notebook. And then we look for a second choice hotel in the same city, just in case first choice is full for whatever reason, because you never know. So we ran into that problem when we moved down here. Sky was getting a little funky. We weren't exactly 100% sure where we were. We were afraid it was going to start storming, and we're like, yeah, I don't know about this. We're kind of in angry sky area. Maybe we should stop, because we had the U-Haul truck, and we pulled off, and apparently our choice hotel was full. Not sure why the choice hotel was full, but it was. And we really didn't want to get back on the road to drive down to the next town that had our choice hotel. And there really weren't many options where we were. So we were kind of fucked in that respect, so we decided to stay at this one place that was really quite a dive hotel. But we were just so done with traveling, we're like, fine, whatever. The cats wanted out of their carriers, and we couldn't sleep because there was like it was pretty much a truck stop kind of dive place, and although some truck stops might have been a little bit better than this place was. And it kept sounding like trucks were gonna like drive through the door, and I'm like, oh my god. And then our air conditioner made a really strange clicking noise, and then we thought we smelled something burning, and we're like, oh no. So we quick got up, turned it off, and unplugged it, right? Because we're like, why are you making a burning smell? The hotel motel Wi-Fi that they told us existed, we could never get into, even with all of the passwords ever. And person on the front desk was like, I don't know. I was like, okay, sure. I guess. So, to avoid one of those situations happening again. Lesson learned, hint taken. We try to make sure we have contingency plans now. And then we have contingency plans for our contingency plans. I think all of these colors kind of ran together here, didn't they? No, I'm trying to get most of the paint off of you. If you would, please. Okay, so this side I need to be a little bit darker. So I might have to come back in with that dark green there. Or come back in with the yellow. And make a slightly lighter mixture for the opposite side of our other leaf guy here. The one hotel I already have figured out. The second hotel I don't yet. I keep changing my mind. Between Valdosta or Lake City. And I'm not sure which one I want to do yet. Oh, I got carried away there. So if you're ever in need of a water rinsey receptacle and you're on a budget, but you want those fancy ridges and stuff on the inside. Oh, hold on. What is happening here? Oh, okay. Something was falling on my feet. Take a water bottle that has ridges in it and just cut the top of it off. They make a good scrubby on the inside. Probably gonna have to play with this a little bit. Oh, you know what? That's what I wanted to do. Hold on. Let's rinse that. Gonna dry that guy. I need somebody with a slightly finer point. Come on. I know you're in there. Thank you. I know you're in there. Don't be shy now. I need a slightly lighter version of that. Just an ever so slightly version. Probably should have used this one from the beginning. Not sure if we're doing an oil painting later tonight. Depends on life and what happens after dinner, really, when it comes down to it. Okay, so we had some plants like these, like the one I'm working on right now. at the one hotel we stayed at in January. What little bit that we did get to see of them, because they were doing construction on the hotel property. We had stayed at the La Concha because we found availability and location. We were trying to be a little more center of Duval Street for my mom, since she was with us. And oh shit, we forgot to get ice. I knew we were forgetting something. Damn it. Sorry. We had to run to Walmart last night. To check on something. See if they even had it. They had a version of what we were looking for, but wasn't exactly what I wanted, so instead we got a can of air, an SD memory card for the trip. We were pricing dash cams. And we found one we think we might grab before we go. And then we ended up in electronics checking on the SD card prices they had over there. I needed a can of air. And we ended up getting a stabilizer for the phone for the recording that we wanted to do while we're away. We forgot to get ice.
Yeah.
That's got a tiny shadow on that there. The Walmart ice is pretty good for the price and the amount that you get if you get the big bag, at least around here. Though for us in groceries, it's either Walmart or Harps Foods. And Harps is a little expensive compared to Walmart, at least in our area. Me realizing I didn't have to go to the deep dark green. Not necessarily. maybe we can do like a combo. Oh, combo's working pretty good. Just to get this worked into here. Okay, kind of shadowy, but I don't know, it feels a little too dark though. Just gonna try to lighten that up. Just a little bit. Okay. I guess that's not so bad. Leave it alone. Okay. So, come back in with our foliage green. Get a good gobby amount there. And a good scoop on our yellow color. Not even sure what shade of yellow that was. Macaroni yellow, it would seem. So I guess sort of like mac and cheese there. Oh, this one can be a bit more on the yellowy side. I'm just gonna try to squeegee some of that off of there. See if I can get my point back. Okay. Alright, where do we want to go with this guy? Alright. Try to figure out how far over we want them to be here. I don't have my brush too loaded up. So I want to make sure I can somewhat keep a bit of our point here. At least a little bit. Now, if you find your lines are a little thick for your liking, you could always add a couple of drops of water slowly till you get your desired thinness. And this will take a little bit of time. To get your ridging in here. Now, if you're afraid of not getting the edge fully or messing up the plant behind it, we haven't done the plant behind it yet, like finalized it. But if you're afraid that you're gonna like leave a space on the edge of the leaf, you could always take a little bit of tape and put it right on the edge there. So that way if you go over too much, you'll be on the tape. Or, since we haven't really finished the plant behind it yet, to just let it go and see what happens, and probably be able to fix it. Everything okay? You had gotten up suddenly, so I wasn't sure.
Your mom had made noise and I was checking.
Oh. So this is a little bit thicker. Than I really wanted it to be. Just gonna grab a drop or two of water here. See if that helps our cause a little bit. It did. Small amount, but it did. At least it's not overly hot here today. We have that going for us as well. It felt better yesterday, but you know, they all can't be glorious weather days, I suppose. Alright. So this is just going to take a little bit of time, like I was saying. All of these guys are going to take a little bit of back and forth here to get the desired shades that you're looking for. The heck?
Oh. epoxy.
Oh. We had a girl I'd never seen before earlier in the week. Let me see here. We're gonna have to tilt this up just a little bit so that I can see this far edge here. Without totally running over it. Depending on how fast your acrylic's dry, you might have to add a drop or two of water as you go. Just to keep it coming off your brush. I mean, if it starts to feel a little too dry brush, and if that's not what you were looking for, then by all means go ahead and add a drop or two of water. Some people will use flow medium. Some people will use slow dry, medium. I've used slow dry medium before. It's okay. But it does get expensive when you start incorporating all the mediums. Because sometimes they're as much as a tube of paint, sometimes more, depending on brand and what you want to do with it. Oh gosh, our Walmart, and I don't know if it's all Walmarts that are doing this, but our Walmart last night had the Arteza paint pouring kits in the clearance aisle for like half off. I was so tempted. I mean, the paint pouring looks pretty fun, but then, you know, there is that one tiny section of my heart that's like, the paint you're wasting. Like, I can't watch the paint pouring videos anymore on YouTube. I'll watch one once in a while. Sorry, my roll of paper towels are being fussy under my desk. It's trying to fall off the container that my feet are standing on, or sitting on. But it hurts my heart to see all of the paint sliding off. Now I do know some people will put like parchment paper down under their paint pouring area, and they will let that paint pour that came off the sides and dry on the parchment and then like make jewelry and stuff out of it. But I'm not really a jewelry maker. I've seen some people take and save the paint that they have hold on, I got something in my eye. Well, they'll take the paint skins that they've peeled off their palettes and stuff, and they will save them. And they will make collage art with them once they get enough saved. I mean, at least it's not going to complete waste, you know? So like the little, let me see here. So like I just peeled this off of the other paint tray. And they would use this and glue it down and stuff and make collage art out of it. It's an interesting idea. Okay. That actually kind of feels like we need a little more yellow to it, doesn't it? I thought I had gotten some of this yellow. I thought I had it on a little bit more of the yellowy side. I guess I didn't quite get there. Well, that definitely feels like it's on the yellow side now. I'm not gonna go over the whole thing again, because we'll never get done this plant today if we do so. We won't be finished today. I highly doubt that. Maybe next week on this one, if we get a little bit further on our leaves here. But that's gonna be a real big if. We'll see. These hay fields are killing me on these windy days. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. at least on the camera. With that lighter shade in there, it matches the back one a little bit more. But we'll do what we can. It is helpful sometimes to just take a moment and step back. And look at it. I actually do find it a little bit more helpful to look at the screen to see A, where we're at, and B, what it's looking like through the screen's perspective. Lets me know if I'm getting a little too carried away. Need just a drop of water. So I don't really want to mix any more of this, because I'm almost done with it. Okay. Just gonna rinse my brush off. And I'm gonna dry him, or at least wipe him off. Alright, I'm gonna take some of our dark green. I think they were calling it Hunter. Mix a little bit of our foliage in with that. And see what we can do here for our stem support. Through the middle here. I just went back and grabbed a little more foliage green to mix into that. We were trying to cut pig nails earlier, and oh my goodness, those pigs weren't having it. They were like, no, put me down. Okay. What color is this? Was that the green? No, that can't be the green pop color. I mean, I guess potentially it could be. No, you know what? That's spring green. That's what color that is. Okay, so we're slowly making some progress here. See if I can get this mound of paint off of. Sometimes you can, and other times, if your nozzle's not clogged, it's not worth digging off. Goody, we're gonna have paint everywhere, all over us. Hello. Would you like to join us today? Okay, would you like to join us up here? Really? Excuse me. I know you've got a paint gob sticking out of you. But you're kind of holding things up here. Oh my goodness. It's not getting any better. Come on. I'm gonna have to stick my fingers in this. I really didn't want to. Come on. Come on. This is what happens when you have these paints for a few years. There we go. We're getting some paint out now. Half the bottle later. There's still some usable paint on there though. Let me just clean off my fingers. Oh my goodness. Great. Now my nails are going to be green for days. Might have to get a toothpick and scrape under there. Try to get that cleaned off before tonight. Alright. Let me just wipe the crud off of that. Alright. So, I mean, it is pretty glompy. It hadn't completely solidified. And I still feel that there's a good amount of paint here. It is still very much usable. In this mess. So by golly, we're gonna use it. Okay. So this guy needed a second coat terribly. It's a little too streaky with the underpainting color very predominant. So we're just gonna come back in. And get a second layer on this base coat color. And I'm not sure what color I want the rest of this guy to be. Do we want to go with some darker streaks? Want to go with some lighter streaks on him. I mean, we could even add a little bit of color to the streaky bits. That big leaf there is just gonna have that little notch ripped on him, apparently. So I'm not adding in our other colors to this just yet. right now I just want to get this base shade. All sorted on this guy. Oh, you might need to spray the crabs.
Okay.
Because when I walked by earlier, I thought it said 61 again.
Okay.
So we might be replacing my microphone soon. Like, before the end of the year soon. Might be a Christmas present. We will see how things go. But we might get one, or we might get me the one that the husband has. He's been fairly happy with its sound quality. Though I do greatly wonder. I want to test that though, before we get it. I might ask to borrow your microphone and have you type and do a recording to see if it picks your mic up less than the snowball. I've got that one little section right here. Although I suppose we can fix that when we come back around. Ooh, I just flung a drop of water somewhere. Where did it go? Uh-oh. Where? Oh, I think it landed on the desk. That's fine. Alright, let me see here. Oh, you know what? We have this pretty coral color. Question is, would that turn the spring green gray? 'Cause it might. Yeah, that's a little too like tan. For my liking. Okay. Alright then. Let's see. Sunshine yellow. That's a bit of a more delicate, lighter color here. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna pick our battles with this color, and enough of it came out that I think we are okay with. So, take some of this sunshine yellow. And some of our spring green here. That's a loud car. I need a little bit more of this color here. What we pulled out, not quite enough. Oh yeah, that turned into a lovely light brown. I'll have to remember that. Kind of like a smoky brown. Little drop of water. Okay. I'm gonna pick up our spring green here. I know I mixed that together on the palette here, but we might be better off doing this on the actual piece here. Tell you what color was this? I think this was our green pop. Alright, so we'll get a little bit of our spring green here. Hopefully they're done shooting off fireworks today. There were still some people shooting some off last night. Slightly vexing, but not a whole lot we can do about that. Alright, so I'm just grabbing some of that green pop as well. Sorry, I've got a hair that is an edge of my vision and I don't know what it's coming from. I wasn't even fully certain that it was my hair. Might have been a guinea pig hair. Okay, we made a little bit of progress today. We got the flat dowel rod all set. And ready to go. Cal, please leave that be. Those are my paint pens, buddy. It's nothing for you. Just trying to figure out how to lay on top of the bag. Because he is Cal. I mean, I'm not terribly surprised. Because again, it's Cal. Alright, so just grabbing a little more of our pop green here. I don't really want to paint this in like aura rings. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm coming out to the edges. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like the painty aura rings around stuff. It's just not what I was trying to do. So I hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. So far. So far I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 new paintings for an art giveaway for the farmers market that we're gonna do again at some point. 4 is not an awful lot though, considering how fast the other stuff went. I don't think I'll be able to have enough stuff ready by the time the last farmer's market happens this year because the click hand, let's not do that. Time the last farmer's market rolls around for the season. Okay. So this guy's kind of coming together here. Our plants are taking on a life of their own. As they should be. I wanted to keep this one a little bit lighter. You can hear one of the cats climbing our tower of water bottles. We're not really confident in this town's tap water. So like all of our cooking, we're using the bottled water for. And I know some people might think that's silly, but we've gotten way too many notices in the mail after the fact that, hey, we kind of sort of noticed a bacteria spike kind of sort of happen, sort of. It was still okay. You weren't in any danger, it's fine. We just dumped some more chemicals in there, it's all good. And I'm like, say what now? And I'm like, okay, well, when did this happen? 3 months ago. You're just now informing us of this? Yeah, but you were fine. Uh-huh. Okay. If you say so. I don't really agree with you, but okay. And that's okay, because there was also an issue with the tap water here at one point. from some reading that we were doing, or at least that I was doing, where the male population seemed to be affected more than anything with health issues. But they supposedly fixed that, and I'm like, uh-huh. Sure you did. I don't know, there's just, for some silly reason, I don't believe you. And I know some bottled water is still tap water, but the one we get is filtered. And I don't have the funds to install a whole house filtration system. So we'll just do it this way. So it's fine. It's not, but like, we never had issues when I lived in South Jersey with our water like we do here. Like, it seems like several people in town, and including us for a while, our water would just intermittently turn brown. Ours kind of calmed down once they replaced some of the town's water piping on the city side of it. But they're still, years later, working on replacing the rest of the town. But they keep allowing more and more new housing coming in before they've fully fixed the situation. Hell, I think the one subdivision that they put in was having so many problems that they had to have septic tanks or septic trucks coming in and pumping out septic stuff from that subdivision's area, like, daily, around the clock. I'm not sure when they fixed it. I just kind of realized I hadn't seen the septic trucks in a while. But that was kind of ridiculous. And I guess at least they were doing something. But I guess they also kind of didn't really have a choice at that point. Alright. So we're definitely making headway. Okay, let me rinse the colors out of this guy. Not quite sure how I got paint that far up on the brush, but okay. Alright, I had popped some of this out and then we never ended up using it. Let's see if we can get a little bit of it at least worked into here. Got a little too carried away on that one. Say oops-a-doodles. Happens, right? Okay. Plus I am wiping some of this paint off. Just a little bit. I kind of want a bit of a flatter edge here and there. Just to try to keep our points a little bit more in check here. Okay. Alright, that's not so bad. Go ahead and rinse our brushy guy here. Okay, slide that back. Alright, now what the heck color was that? Was that our foliage color again? It might have been. I mean, it kind of looks like it. I think I lost the foliage color puddle though in the mess that is our paint palette. So there's that. Alright. Grab some of our... Oh, I'm just getting paint all over me today. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, I guess at least this paint comes off. Come on. No. Ah. Great. I've got paint on my face now. That's not fun. Okay. So we are right here. Can't really see them so well. But that's where we be. At this very moment. Alright, I'm going to take some of our lime here. And just try to work a little bit of that in here. And a little bit of that sunshine yellow as well. That was somebody towing a trailer. And probably an empty one at that. So let's see if we can get this plant finished up here. Alright, so we've been kind of comboing this. They seemed a little dark there with the tree trunk behind. So I'm just gonna see how we go here. I might have to take my time on this guy a little bit more. Just so we can get him looking how we want. Just kind of wiping off some of the excess paint there in between. Sometimes it helps, and sometimes it doesn't. We will see which one of those times this ends up being. A little bit more of this. Kind of want to drag it from the stem up into there. That's not too bad. Alright, so let's bring in our next set of leaves. We'll get our new base color, our new base color coat, I guess. In place here. And I probably should have wiped a little bit of that off before we completely dove in there. But that's okay. Slowly making our way through with this guy. as well as we can. And like I said, these don't have to be like spot on to any specific real plants. It can be whatever. I don't really have a real reference photo for these guys. We are just kind of winging it. I had a reference photo that I used on the flamingos. It might have been one of our zoo photos. I just kind of decided to grab here. That I wanted to do something with. Okay. So this is our lime color. And then we'll grab some more of that really pale yellow. This one's quite the back and forth here. To get it just where we want it. Not all of the leaves are gonna look identical to each other. I would like to get them close, but they won't be super identical. And we're almost done this guy. We've got quite the mess going on our palette here. But that's fairly typical for us. Like, we gotta have that mixing area. All right. In our wipe off area. As best as we can. I don't know, I'd rather wipe off on here than totally saturate our rag. So if we get too much paint built up in that rag, it's not gonna want to rag properly for us anymore. Although this one's a little bit more beat up than my other towel. I think the other towel is actually in our one drawer here. Okay, let me slide that over so we can get an idea of where we're at the moment. Alright, not too bad. We do have one flower up there. I'm gonna hold off on that flower at the moment, because I'd kind of like to get all of the flowers in one go. That's what I'd like to do. So get some fresh water here. Now, what color do we want our best flamingo to be? We've got, oh, those are both the same color. Okay. Hot pink, taffeta pink. I think we might make the base hot pink. I think that's just going to be easier to deal with. You okay? Do I need to stop? Okay. Alright. Okay. Actually, Alright. So let me slide the camera back over that way. Oh, that's fuzzy. That's pretty good. so this is just going to be our base coat. Getting caught up in my wire here. So this is going to be a little bit darker than I necessarily want to go with this. But that's okay. Because after we get our second base coat on this guy, then we'll come in with our lighter shades. And then we'll start our blending process. And then we'll go from there. All right. So I don't know if we'll get the base coat on the other flamingo today. God, my hand is covered in green paint. That's not going to be fun to scrub off. At least it's not as staining as blue. I just hope I get it all off for later, in case we do end up doing another paint stream, having to explain why I've got green paint up under my fingernails. Never been into getting my nails done. That's why we don't have a fancy manicure. Number one, it's expensive. And don't really have money for that. Number two, I'm a klutz. I bend my fingernails back walking through doorways sometimes if my hand catches the side of it, or trying to open a container. Number three, I do quite a bit of typing, and the extension on my fingers would drive me insane. And they would be probably chipped within a day, knowing me. So it just ain't worth it for me. That, and I can't stand the smell of the nail polish and nail polish remover. It gives me a migraine. And a bad headache if I'm lucky. Alright, so we might need to do two passes of this on a base coat is what I'm thinking. just to take care of any of our pencil lines or what have you that are trying to bleed through. Not sure what color we're gonna do our hibiscus flowers yet. We might do them with a red-yellow combination, just for another pop of color. We could also do them with like a white, stripy, dark pink. The red might be a little too much on this. It might take over. We might be better off doing the white. But we'll see. I have noticed that these particular brushes are not as snappy as I would like them to be. But that is one of the things that you risk when ordering brushes. Sometimes people in the comments are helpful on the reviews of the product. I mean, they're not full on, like they're not straight up soft like some of the natural hair brushes can be, or like some of the cheap paintbrushes where they get like wet and they just hold their mushy shape. It's sort of holding a point. I would like them to be a little bit stiffer. But we're getting by with them. So I could switch to a bigger brush. I don't have to use this tiny guy, but the tiny guy is working. And he's already dirty. So I think we'll just kind of keep going with him. He is very dark. I don't want him to be that dark in the end. Didn't realize we were quite so up high on that. Oh, paint string. See, that's no good. Alright. So we will have to get some gray out for the leggy, or the part of the leggy that's going to be visible. Alright. Yeah, this is way darker than I really want this guy to be. But we're not there yet. We still have a little ways to go. Alright. So it's a little messy. But we do have a couple other coats coming in here. Right now I just want to use real extreme caution while I'm on the edge here. Don't want my hand to suddenly twitch. Because then I'm gonna have a lot of fixing and adjusting to do there that I'd rather not have to do. Now I'm trying to keep some kind of brush stroke going in here. Just so I know where my wing line should be chilling out. We might lose some of it. But hopefully we won't lose all of it. If I can keep our brushy strokes kind of hanging out in the right direction, when I come in with the other color passes, we should be pretty good. I don't think we'll lose it entirely. Okay. So I got those paint markers because I'm thinking of trying to do kind of like a mandala design on one of our black canvases that we picked up, and I thought it might be easier to do the paint pens with it. And then trying to do a bunch of coats with this stuff on the black canvas. We'll see how it goes. I'll take some black acrylic paint and put some down on our sketchbook, or in our sketchbook, so I can see how they're gonna go on a black surface. Okay, that's kind of still visible there. Alright, that's good. And then we'll start curving around our shape and hope we don't lose the top edge of it. If we do, we do. Hopefully we don't. Okay, this is just our base coat pass on this guy. He gets one more a bit more diligent pass in this color. before we really get in there and start shading them and stuff. Okay, so we didn't lose that entirely. That's good. Okay, 34. Alright, I'm gonna rinse this. And we can start our second pass with this color. Just so I don't waste the paint that's out. Alright, I'm gonna flip him so I can get the head a little bit better. Do apologize for flipping him upside down, but I do need to be able to see. Don't want to totally flub our main characters here. And that would be awful. Okay. This hot pink, the edge in certain spots, I can't tell if it's my imagination, and it very well could be. But it almost looks like it's taking on a purple tinge to it. It might just be the colors that are surrounding it. That's entirely possible. This section in here needs quite a bit of attention. I can see the horizon pencil line kind of cutting through his neck there. I'm hoping that this next pass here will take care of that. Hopefully. Okay. All in all, I think we're coming along pretty okay so far. And so far so good. We're getting the splotchies taken care of. And the streakies. Like, I'm sure they would look fine in other paintings, but I wanted a little bit more of a polished finish. On this one. Oh man, that lime green is just having a whole lot of fun on our paint tray here. Like, I can't tell if the streaks that I'm seeing now are just because it hasn't quite dried in that section. Which it is possible. But we got the details in on our other leaves. So that was good. Super, super careful. Hopefully I don't have to touch these leaves up. I was a little apprehensive about doing them so early with us needing to do this pink. Surrounding it. Okay. Now we are going to be doing another round of color. This isn't his final color. I'm going to come back with probably a little bit of this and maybe some ballerina pink or taffeta pink or something. Slightly lighter bit of pink here. I'm not sure yet if we'll bring the coral in. We might. Coral the color, not coral the underwater sea life. And just to be clear, alright, hope everybody's having a good day. Enjoying their weekend as much as possible. Alright. We are just working on our second pass with this particular shade of pink here. But yeah, you know what? I might bring in a little bit of that coral color. Maybe mix it with this hot pink. Just to give that a slightly different shade there to work with. Just to tone down all of this hot pink. Welcome back, Tom. How are you? How was your break? Hope it was good. ready for dinner. I got up late and did not get the chance to eat anything before we got started. So it was kind of sad. I was like, oh, I'm hungry, let me grab something, and I started to throw it in the toaster oven, and I was like, oh shit, that's the time. I was like, well, that's not gonna work. Because I needed to get started a little early today. Because we had that dowel to paint. Okay. Almost done with this pass. Which is good because we're running out of usable paint on this shade. On the palette, 'cause what's down here is kind of glumpy here. Not quite as bad as that spring green was earlier. And we didn't have to fight to get this shade out of the bottle. Alright. So far, so good. But yeah, that's a little darker than I really want it to be as it's drying here. Whoop. And that's what you want to be careful about with the paint that's starting to get a little glompy, is grabbing pieces of the glomp and dragging it back in. Sometimes it's not so much of an issue. Especially if you're doing like really thick textured painting, then you wouldn't really notice it. But I want this to be as smooth as we can get it. Okay, hopefully I can find those brush strokes later. When we come back. To give that another pass. But I think that's gonna do it for today, because we're just about out of time today. I walked in to grab the nail cutter from my mom's room where we left it for the guinea pigs, and they were very displeased. They thought they were getting another snack, even though they got snackies while she was petting them. But I also have to clean up my hands too before I make dinner. And that's probably gonna be a project. So, not too bad. We got our dowel painted for the needle felting. And let's see, I did zoom us in a little bit. Alright, and that's where we are at so far today. So we made some progress. We got this one, those two, that one, and that one completely done. We got our second pass on our flamingo, first and second pass really, on this flamingo done. I'm gonna wait to do the hibiscuses all together. So we've got one here, and one here. I do have a couple more leaves down here that I didn't get to yet, but I decided I wanted to wait on them until we get this guy sorted. We did not get the first pass on this one yet. That one's going to be a little bit tricky with the positioning, so we'll see. I might have to do some gray edging shading in there as we are going, but not too bad considering how much time the leaves took. We'll be back tomorrow with needle felting, migraine permitting of course, and the same for Monday. We might be doing a bonus stream tonight. Oh, thank you, Tom. I don't know if we're doing the bonus stream tonight, so make sure you have your notifications turned on here, or that you're following on X, Twitter, whatever it's calling itself now. Because I will post there if we end up doing the bonus stream tonight. If we do, it's going to be oil painting, probably, since the husband's struggling with his allergies, and I am too, but he's getting hit harder. So we might just end up painting tonight instead of Diablo. We'll see. Everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend if I don't see you. And until next time, you guys.